What's going on YouTube? Josh here checking in. Welcome back to the Strength Doc home gym. It's flu season in North America. Everybody seems to be catching some kind of cold or cough or something's going on. I see it all the time working in the ER. Tons of people sick, feeling really crummy and coming in so they can see if they get feeling better. So I figured what a better time than make a video answering the question, should you train if you're sick? And who better to answer that than a doctor? Now, before I proceed, guys, I need to make a disclaimer. This is not medical advice geared towards you or your buddy. This is general guidelines. This is not medical advice. If you have any specific medical questions, given your circumstances, I would recommend that you ask your doctor. And if you're feeling absolutely terrible, there's urgent cares and ERs all over the place. So utilize those if you see fit. This is not medical advice. Now, on to the meat of this topic. Should you train if you're sick? So, this is a tough question. And I will say that my beliefs on this have certainly changed. I don't think that there's a tremendous amount of great scientific evidence that shows if you have this, and this, you should train. If you have X, Y, and Z, you should not train. So a lot of this is going to be based on my experience and my medical knowledge, and so take that for what it's worth, guys, all right? So first off, the first question you should ask yourself, basically, should you be training, is did you go to work and or did you go to school that day? If you were feeling so absolutely terrible that going to school or work was out of the picture, that might be a signal that whatever you're dealing with might not be a good idea to go in the gym. You might just need a day or two to get over it. Make sure you stay hydrated, do what you gotta do, and try to feel better. If you're not able to get into work or school, what makes you think that going to the gym is a great idea? That's kind of common sense, although I see that happen. So the next question is, where are you training, right? The reason why I'm getting at this is, are you training at your home gym like this, or are you training at a commercial gym where you're going to potentially get a lot of other people sick? And that's something that I think a lot of people don't really take into consideration. They're all more focused on, well, if I train now, am I going to make myself more sick, or am I going to hurt myself? But really, you're being selfish, guys. You have to consider, are you going to get everybody else in the gym sick, spreading around the germs that you have? And so on that note, are you passing germs all over the place? If you're coughing all over the place, whether or not you're bringing up a bunch of phlegm or if you think it's a dry cough, if you're coughing frequently, guys, stay home. Sometimes a cough can be mild and it's something that you can honestly get a home workout in. Even if you don't have a home gym, you can do something physically fit, something light just to keep moving, do some push-ups, do some pull-ups, whatever. But if you're coughing all over the place, guys, don't go to the gym. You're gonna get everybody else sick. That's just kind of common sense, although these days common sense is not so common. So what if you have a sore throat, right? You got a tickle in your throat, it's feeling kind of not so great, feels like kind of hard to swallow a little bit. Honestly, guys, a lot of times this sort of thing will pass with just a few days of drinking some warm teas, things like that. Motrin is your godsend for something like this, a sore throat. And if you're really just dealing with a little bit of a sore throat, there's no reason you can't go in and train. Don't use this as an excuse not to train. Honestly, just sack up, take some Motrin, get your butt in the gym. Now, what if you've got a fever? Well, this is kind of tricky because you have a fever. Obviously, your body's fighting off some kind of illness. This time of year, most of the time, it's going to be a virus. And it'll honestly depend on how everything else is going. With fever, there's medications to treat fever. I'm sure you guys know Tylenol, Motrin are great over-the-counter options for treating fever. my personal preference would be a little bit more Motrin. And keep in mind that, although the Motrin tablets only come in 200 milligrams, prescription Motrin is the same medication that's usually in 600 or 800 milligrams. So I'm sure you can figure that out on your own. Now, fevers, you take the medicine for fever, you're feeling better. Should you go train? Well, this kind of depends on what other things you're dealing with. If you're just feeling really run down, you haven't really been eating well, and you also have a fever, I would say if you're gonna train, take it very light. Because when you're sick, you're feeling run down, you don't want to push it more than, your body's already under a stressful condition. I wouldn't say 100% if you have a low-grade fever, say it's 101 or something, you take some Tylenol, Motrin, now your temperature is good, you're feeling a little bit better. I'm not going to say that's an absolute no to training. I will say if you're going to go in and train, make sure whatever you're dealing with is not something that you're going to be spreading germs all over the place. Make sure you wash your hands like crazy, and I would take it easy. If you're planning on going and do a bunch of maxes, I think that's probably not the best thing for your body when you're trying to recover from an illness. If you want to go in and just do a few light sets, get some blood flow going, that's probably going to be okay. And again, every situation is going to be a little bit different. Now, what if you've got a viral kind of a belly bug, you got a GI bug, you got some nausea, vomiting, maybe some diarrhea. What do you do with this? Now, again, this is one of those things where there's a huge range. There's some people who, they throw up once, they have a little diarrhea, and then they're feeling okay. Sure, you're feeling okay, you're able to tolerate a bunch of liquids, you've had some Gatorade, you're eating food, you're not throwing up anymore, you're not gonna be going to the squat rack and then running to the bathroom to poop your brains out. Sure, man, go train, that's fine. But, with something like this, you gotta be careful because if you're having nausea and vomiting, things like that, you can get dehydrated pretty quickly. And the last thing you want to do is go train, go do some heavy squats or something like that when you're already dehydrated. You're gonna end up fainting at the gym, making a fool of yourself, potentially getting hurt. So just keep that in mind. You have to see how you're feeling. Are you on the way up or are you on the way down? And something like this, I would probably err on the side of staying at home if you're kind of on the fence there. And if you're gonna go into the gym, definitely take it on the easier side. It's not the day for your heavy squats. I'm sorry. If you got the stomach bug and you were due for some heavy squats, save that for next time. Now, I hope these was kind of useful for you guys, just some general guidelines. Now, one last thing I will say is this year the flu has been pretty bad. So if you guys have not gotten the flu shot yet, honestly, it's not too late. Flu season runs all the way through April. And although the flu vaccine is not 100% against all strains of the flu, it's definitely better than nothing. And you don't want to catch the flu, be knocked on your behind for a week plus, just feeling terrible, not being able to train. I'm telling you, if you guys get the flu this year, or if you know somebody who's gotten it, it can really knock you on your butt. And this is not going to be one of those situations where you're like, should I train? Most of the people who I've seen, at least in the ER, who've gotten the flu have just been absolutely miserable. And they're lucky to just get a little bit of relief with some over-the-counter medications just for the pain, the fevers, body aches, all that kind of stuff. They're not comfortable. So that's not going to be one of those situations, I think, where most people are going to say, I've got the flu, should I train? I think most people intuitively will know that it's just not a good state to be training in. But it's not too late to get the flu shot if you haven't already gotten it this year. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions about this video in particular, please post them in the comment section below. If you guys have specific medical problems, I will not be able to answer and give you guys kind of individualized medical advice. I only have a medical license in Texas, and I'm not going to be giving sort of medical advice over the internet to individuals. I don't have any sort of online practice or anything like that. So, but if you have general questions, or if you guys have been dealing with any illnesses, if you can speak to maybe having the flu and seeing how you felt, I think that'd be beneficial for the other subscribers, the other people watching this video. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to tune in for the next video, whenever that may be. I'll catch you guys all in the next video.